What's up, guys? We're gonna roll beats. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to arrange sounds in your simple beats. If you haven't subbed or turned post notifications on, make sure you do so because it does help out a lot. Let's hop right into it. So we have the same exact beat from the last video, all right, just to kind of keep everything the same. I want to focus more on like what sounds to take out and what type of variation and effects to use. All right, so first things first, we're gonna start with this arrangement. All right, so let's start with this arrangement. So first we're gonna go like how to actually place these instruments and how to put variation, and then I'm gonna show you like effects that you can do to kind of make it sound different. All right, so first things first, we need something out here. So we only have two instruments, right? And they are in the same, they have the same exact notes in the same exact place. So it's like, how do you actually go about doing that? How to like make a verse and a hook or whatever. So first, let's place it out. Now pay attention to your BPM because yours might be like 160, 170. So it will be different. So you'll need to add more blocks. And if you don't know what blocks are, I have an arrangement tutorial where I just kind of use my own terminologies to make it simple. All right, so this will be a block pretty much. Okay, at least in this BPM, this is just one block. So if you hear me say block, just know that's what I mean. It's like 4 bars pretty much. So we'll copy this 3 times. You could do 4, but basically this part right here will be like intro. And how do you decide like, okay, well, do I use this as my intro or this one is my intro? Now, what you want to look for is think about if someone's going to rap over it. Usually in the intro and the hook, you have like the most energy, right? So you got to look for the instrument that acts like a vocal, right? So whichever one has like those frequencies that a vocal would be in is where I would kind of decide to place that instrument. So I'll go here and I'll show you the EQ, and let me make it a little bit bigger. So when I play this instrument, and let me take these out. So when I play this instrument, you'll see that this is like around here is like where a vocal will sit if you mixed it. All right, so this is why I would choose to put this one in the intro and the hook. That doesn't mean you have to do that. That's just a rule of thumb I go by when you're not really sure or you just need to get something down. All right. So now moving on. So this is the intro and this is the hook. Okay. So now going about the verse. Same thing with the verse, except it's reverse. So let's copy this. And I usually do this one about 3 times. So again, it's like, all right, so which one do I take out and which one do I keep? Well, on the high energy part, we kept the one that sounded like a vocal pretty much, or acted as a vocal in the EQ. So we want to take that one out on the verse because on the verse, you want to hear what they're saying, right? Makes sense. So let's take this one out. And then if you want to see, this one has like the lower frequencies, not all, but mostly lower. Take that out. Okay. You see low, mid, a little bit of high, but you can EQ it out, right? It'll be easier to mix a vocal over that, right? So that is how I choose what instruments to put down. Okay, so let's continue with this arrangement. So now we got us an intro, and we got us and I should probably name these, but we got us a hook, and then we got us a verse. Now, a lot of songs nowadays are like really short. If you work with like local artists or anything, you'll know that a lot of their songs like 1 minute 30 seconds, 2 minutes or 30 seconds. All right, so what you can do is actually just copy this, and I'm sure you see producers do it all the time, and they just copy this like twice or 4 times. Okay, something like that. All right, should be about 2 minutes, and then you can let the beat play out, or you can add another hook, or you can just cut this off. I just like to do this, and then maybe add like 2. So that's how I do it, for this BPM at least. But it should be the same. You'll add like if you want this longer, just add another block here. Okay, so that's the arrangement. So now I'm going to get into like variation and what you can do to like switch it up. All right, so now let's do some variation. I went ahead and put the markers. So like if you want to just copy this template, this is not like the best way to do it. This is just a quick way if you need a guide just to start off so that you can kind of build from that and learn and make your own little template. All right, now I do have videos for arrangement. Like I have a bunch of them actually. If you just want to look at some different types of arrangement, but this is just a quick one you can follow if you just need something. All right. So starting off with this variation. First things first is you can add whatever you want. All right, don't look at this and be like, okay, I'm not gonna add this instrument because it meshes with the vocal. You can still add it. I usually add something like right here. Okay, so let me zoom in so we can really get in here. So with variation, what I would usually change is the 808 and then take out a few hi-hats. Now I don't really change my hi-hats too much unless it's that type of beat. If it's a beat where the drums matter a lot. Now with trap, the drums don't matter too much. It's usually just the melody and 808. And then, the drums kind of, you got your clap or your rim or whatever, but I don't really change it too much. You can, but I'm gonna just make this as simple as possible. So we're gonna start with 808. Now with the first 808 on the verse, I like to slow things down. So I will usually take the kick out. All right, you can leave everything else if you want. And then I will click here, and let me zoom in. I will click this little piano icon and then go to make unique. And what that's gonna do is create a new pattern, as you see right here. Double click, and now you can edit that pattern. So what I would do here is just take out some, and whatever sounds best to pretty much just slow it down a bit. Okay, something like that. You can see when the kick comes back in, it gives it more energy. All right, so I would do that, and I would usually take the hi-hats out, and this is just for some variation. Okay, and then what else could we do on this part? We could do it again, make unique, double click, and then we could add an 808. So we could probably add one there, just something different. All right, just something to give it a little bit more. And then you could do the same thing with your kick, but I don't think that's necessary for this beat. Okay, so that's just a quick variation thing that you can do. You can't bring this back in, all right, because we're still gonna add effects and everything, which is very important, especially when you're making very simple beats. I will go heavy on effects, not crazy effects, but just some that you'll notice okay, that's sounds different from the intro part. All right, so we just play it. Okay, and then right here, I don't know, people call this the pre-hook, the pre-chorus, the bridge, whatever. All right, but this little empty part, this is kind of like to kind of put everything at rest, kind of give your ears a break, and then it's really to basically put emphasis on the drop right here, because now you don't have any drums or anything, so it's like, okay, and then the drop comes. Okay, so that's how you kind of get that drop effect by and I know you see a lot of people do this. All right, so now let's go ahead and put some effects so we kind of finish this little thing out. All right, so we got all the other stuff out the way, so now we have to go through the effects. Now this is pretty easy because it's just your preference, but obviously we're going to start with our halftime. Okay, now with the halftime, you can either do it throughout the whole thing if that's what you want, and this has everything that we talked about previously in it. It leaves room for the vocals because it drops everything down an octave, and it slows everything down. So that's why you probably hear this a lot on the verse. So I'll just show you quickly what it would sound like if you don't know. So I'll just play it from right here. All right, and then usually I would just probably put a halftime here because it just sounds best. And I'm gonna go through some effects, and I'll probably leave a download for these effects because I don't want to have to go through and pause for every and I'm sure y'all don't want to have to copy every preset when you can just get the download it. All right, so I would usually put this right here. Maybe somewhere right there, or you could do the whole thing. I usually like doing it on the whole thing, especially on guitar beats, but if it's an ambient beat, I'll just put it at the end, just kind of I don't know, change the mood a bit. So let's go ahead and go through some of these effects, and I'll leave a download link in the description. So we got this first one here, and this is the preset we're dealing with, and we got some delay, and the delay is set at 3, and it's just something different. All right, if you just want to throw it in at a certain part, right? All right, and that's the first set. And then we have this one. We have flangus, reverb, and we got this gross beat, basic 5 preset. And then we put some delay. Now I do think the delay is on a little heavy. Just because this fruity delay is just sometimes it's too much. So I'll just play it. All right, and then the order does matter as well, so you can switch them around, see which ones you like. And then the last effect I'm gonna go over is just this reverse effect. All right, now you need this volume here, and once again, you'll get these presets. But you want this volume to go up, because when you have like this reverse, and let me go here. All right, when you have this reverse thing, and how I did this is I just took this half speed effect and I cut it in fourths, and then I just drug this down. That's kind of how you get that reverse. All right, so that's pretty much the effects. The effects is just preference. Like if you just want a part to sound a little bit more ambient or a little bit more whatever, you could throw some effects on there. And I'm not gonna go over chops in this video. I'm gonna make a whole entire video over chops because I want to kind of go slow through that process. I don't want to just skim over it. But that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully this was helpful. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.